my beautiful dreamers, and welcome back for another video. So just to start, because I know you're gonna be like, Shalonda, really all that makeup? I just finished recording this look for you minus the lips. I just added the lips now. That video should be up hopefully, and be sure to check that out. But for this video, I really wanted to go ahead and do the review for the CoverGirl All Day Flawless Foundation. You guys have been sending me endless emails about, Shalonda, like, get your life. We need to know, what do you think? You guys know, if you don't know anything, I am a foundation and concealer slut, and so I try them all. So let's jump right in. First, they say that these are all day flawless coverage, lasting power of powder, coverage of a concealer, and blendability of a foundation in one. Shine free is specifically designed, is what it says. I have two colors here, and if you're just joining me to my channel, then welcome. However, for those who've been with me for a while know that I have combination skin. So I have red undertones and I have yellow undertones, and so I always find myself having to buy two and put them together to kind of get as close to my skin tone as possible. I did use this foundation today, and I have to say it wasn't bad. Two colors, and I have it in Spicy Brown, and that is in Q855, which for me is a little on the red side, and if you really look closer you can see more red undertones in there. And then I have Sheer Espresso, and this color is Q850, and if you really look closely you'll see more yellow in there. I'll put these next to each other so you can really see. See how this one is more red and this one has more yellow. So together they work for me. Together they do a little something for me. Okay, so one thing I will say is they do finish matte. I like that. As hopefully you can see when I'm applying it, you can see that I really was focusing on, I wanted a full coverage. However, I wanted to see how this foundation would actually maneuver. It went on pretty good, I have to say. I didn't find myself having to really blend it in. What I did notice is that once I applied it, I couldn't like take my time. I had to make sure that I jumped on top of really blending in those fine lines, or blending in the demarcation lines, because it dries fairly quickly, and if you don't hurry up, you find yourself having to really buff it into your face, and that can be a little bruising to your face. So I added a little to my hand just so you can see here, and this is what it looks like. It starts off with a nice little shine, but then it goes on very matte, which I know from, you know, speaking with a lot of you ladies, you prefer matte foundations. Me being so dry, I kind of prefer more of a dewy finish, but I do love matte. You know, like this look, I wanted just matte. That's what I was going for. So as you can see, like, it really finishes quite matte, quite dry. Has a slight little sheen to it, but for the most part, it's pretty dry. One thing I will say is it does look like skin. Like, you can't necessarily look at that and say, oh, she's wearing like a cake full of makeup, because that's not the case. You can use this foundation as sheer as you like, and it's definitely buildable. I did about 2 layers to get this, and I'm comfortable there. Usually I only do 1, but to get the desired look that I was going for, I did use 2. Overall, did I like it? Yes. Hands down, it's definitely not a bad foundation by far. CoverGirl really thought about us and really got something out there for us. The masses of African American and colored women do prefer matte finishes, which is why I think this is more matte, as well as being considered a powder concealer, and foundation all in one. It has to be a little matte necessary, because if it didn't, you would just look a hot darn mess if it was oily, and then, you know. So I get the idea of 3 in 1. It has to be a finish a little bit on the matte side. I think that this would be great for me on an everyday, not touch my MAC foundations if I'm not going anywhere in a particular foundation. This is great. This is church foundation, if that makes sense. Like, you want to look a little nice. You're not trying to do too much. You know, you don't want to look like you're really just going to the store. You really want to look at least presentable going to like your child's banquet or something. This foundation will do that. This foundation will do this. I actually did two of my clients recently. They was going to a little gala, and I did use this foundation on them as well, and it looked really, really pretty. However, I will say these are 1 fluid ounces, so if you don't use this every day, you'll have this for a good amount of time because you're like one pumping it. You're really one pumping it. So this is good to have in your arsenal, especially if you're a makeup lover, especially if you find yourself doing other people's makeup, because they will come in handy because it gives you that full coverage. You can build on it, you can sheer it out, you can do what you have to do with this. So I really do like it, I have to say. It's really good. I mean, there's nothing I can say bad about it. One thing I will say also, it definitely got into my fine lines really nicely. I did not put like line filler on today that I usually do, and if you can see, you know, my lines is not bad. I have smile lines because I'm always smiling, and I'm telling you, you know, like this, it really just kind of smoothed over those. I really like that. You know, it didn't creep in and cause really nasty lines on your face. So I have to say, it got into my lines really nicely and filled those in. Yeah, I think this is a win. It gives great coverage. As you can see, my hand is completely dry. There's no transfer. It's, you know, my face is pretty much beat. That's not going anywhere. One more thing, it lasts. I will say that. I put this on and sprayed it with the setting spray, and my makeup hasn't gone anywhere yet, and I've done this, had this on for a while. Definitely go through YouTube. There's so many different reviews on it, but this is my review on this foundation. I have to say, it's worth it. These were about anywhere between $5 and $8. I'm not sure, but they weren't, I have nothing negative to say about them at all. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, you guys already know what to do. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Kik, and I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video. Blessings, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.